Welcome back, everybody, to Love Your Business Mom, where you learn hard lessons on surviving in business with the warmth and brutal honesty that only a mother can give. I'd love for you to introduce yourself to the people, and then I'll get into a little bit more about how we met.
My name is Oluwaseun Akinlembola. I'm a SaaS writer. I met Anna on LinkedIn. Started liking each other's posts, and it's so good to be here.
It's awesome to have you. What do you want us to call you as listeners and hosts?
Just call me Seun. It's easier to pronounce Seun.
Shim?
Yeah, Seun. Yes, yeah, you're right. You got it right. Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So,
okay. Yeah,
Shim,
yeah, yeah,
welcome.
yeah.
As he mentioned, we met each other on LinkedIn. He has awesome content, lots of great videos and breakdowns, which of course is my world. So I immediately connected with it. I was like, oh, I love this. I need more of this. Also put me onto some tools. I love when somebody can show me something I haven't seen before. So I'm testing some cool tools. So needless to say, he is an expert in all things B2B SaaS content and writing and getting the message out there about your tools. So I'd love to know, in your words, how you describe the work you do for clients and where you're trying to take that.
Yeah. So on my LinkedIn, I think I shared this a while back, but I'll just say it again. So I started
Mm-hmm.
writing in 20, and I've been writing with SEO teams. But so far, the work has been generic, no real connect, so to say. I don't get to interview a lot of SMEs. So I felt like I needed to niche down to something that has to involve SMEs, something that I'm proud of doing. So that's when I stumbled into B2B SaaS writing. And so far, everything that I wanted it to be, it has been so for me. I've been talking to SMEs, this neat system with the content lead, with my editor and all that. So I love it. So I'm really enjoying it. I changed my approach from generic writing to SME led writing. And now I get to write for different, like defined audience level, TOEFL, MOFL, BOFL. And it's really, really exciting. So that's the approach I'm taking to writing now. SME led writing, product led writing. Yes.
I love that. So, what would you say of all the different types that you've been able to do? You mentioned a lot of industry terms there, right? Tofu, bofu. Take one of those that's your favorite and maybe break it down for the listeners who might not understand and tell us what you like about it and what you like
Yeah.
learning.
TOEFL. Okay, TOEFL is like the top of the funnel. Okay, it's informational. It's informational. We assume that you don't know a lot about the topic at TOEFL, so we do the definitions. We tell you what is this, what is X, what is Y. So when you get to MOFL will feel like you have some experience with it, or you just don't know how to do it. It's just like, for example, I know about Riverside, but I don't know how to use it. So MOFO will be
Right.
how to use Riverside to host some sort of live show, or podcast or something. So that would be MOFO. Now, I know about MOFO, but I'm still not convinced. I want to check other tools. Which should I subscribe to? So at that level, I've gone to BOFO. Now I have enough information, but I just need that final nudge to pick or two. So you can now say Riverside versus Google Meet. Which one is best for you?
Mm,
Something like that. So yeah.
yeah,
So
I
and
love that.
of course, definitely BOFO is my best so far.
Why
It's
is
so
that?
practical. Yeah. It's so practical because I get to test the tools. I get to
Yeah.
test the tools. And as I from testing the tools, I usually go to Reddit too because I want to see what other users are saying. So it's so fun. It's not just about me again. It's about getting other people's insights, SME
Mhm.
insights, what forums are saying. Then when I put the whole thing together, it's just so real. Something AI can produce. So that's why I like Buffalo. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So, when you're working on these projects and you're interviewing these subject matter experts, have you found any transferable skills from jobs you've had in the past or experiences you've had growing up that help you do your job better now?
Yes. Because I studied agriculture extension and communication. So what I do
Yeah.
before writing was that I teach farmers really. I go to farms, I talk to farmers, break down new innovations to them, how to do this thing, how to plant your maize, whatever, in a simpler way using this technology.
Yeah.
So when I was doing SEO writing, I didn't really see the connection. But now coming to
Mhm.
B2B SaaS, when I'm talking to people, talking to farmers that are elderly people, there's this mutual respect. You don't talk to them in any kind of ways. That
Yeah.
respect, that helped me to talk to anybody because there's a way I could chat anybody up regardless of their age or whatever. And it's always respectful. There's this mutual respect. And I feel like I learned that from what I studied in school. So, and I
Yeah.
applied that to my interviews and it has really helped me because some of the people I interviewed are people that would not really have access to, so to say. I remember that I
Yeah.
interviewed about the food. Yeah, Erica from ZenMate. And I just replied to
Yeah.
her newsletter. Wow, this is a nice newsletter. Do you mind? I led with a question and she said, okay, send the questions over. I learned that from my course, agricultural extension and communication. And so it has been great help.
I love that. So it sounds like if you lead with respect, you can be more confident, like shooting your shot and
Yeah,
reaching out to people. I
exactly.
love
Right,
that. I love that.
right.
Would you say that with your career and your life, is there anything that, led you to have that position? Was it just working with the farmers or was it something in your life and, your personal life before? Have you always been that way? I'm curious because I feel like a lot of people don't have that trait, if I'm being honest with you, in the business world. So I'd love to know more about how you developed that.
I never thought I would be writing as a living, really. I never thought it would be a career for me. I just felt like it's just something fun to do. In fact, I was just writing for fun when I was in school. Just I write about my lecturers, I about my classmates. There was a time, so this is going to be funny to you. There was a time I
Okay.
wrote a piece and I said I'm a priest because I don't talk to girls. I don't have a girlfriend. So so my environmental mates kind of loved that, and they were like, "Seun, do you know you can
Yeah.
take this? You can do this professionally." And I thought about it.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's possible. So I made some research. So that people get paid for writing. So that's when I started writing. I still did my normal work, but I was just writing for fun until
Yeah.
2020 during COVID, and my job was threatened. I was told I'll be sent to
Mm,
a rural area, like with no network and all that. I was like, no, 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 no,
mm,
I can do more than this. So I stopped the
yeah.
work and I just, started with writing. At the time, the head of the department was like, "You want to leave a paid job for online writing?" That was so
Yeah.
funny at the time. Like, why would you leave a paid
Yeah.
job, a physical job for online writing? I was like, well, I just have to follow my dream right now, and what I'm doing right here does not match up for me, so I have to just go with what I'm doing. And recently we had a chat, and she was like, "How are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing good."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you are a big voice on building your personal brand, building it very publicly. It's something I like as well. And you do this freelance work. So, in your experience, do you have kind of examples of things you've done to try to pitch, whether it's to meet with certain SMEs or to get certain articles assigned to you that are really good or that really didn't work? Do you have any kind of examples of the better and the less good tactics that you tried for aspiring writers or other freelancers?
This is something I did recently for Q1
Mm,
2025. So it's a new niche for me, and I was trying to so far because I started selling content writing services on platforms like Legit. Okay, so Legit is like
mhm.
Fiverr. I don't pitch for jobs. I
Yeah.
just display myself as an expert, have a nice thumbnail on my profile. So people just come to me. I don't have to go to people's inbox. When I wanted to niche down, I have to do extra work. I have to go to people's DM. Initially, I thought to myself, if people come to me, there's a way I would love them to approach me, okay? Because I would want them to come to me. Just tell me everything you need at once. Don't say, do you have a minute or whatever? So I sent, I sent the whole thing at once. What I wanted, I
Yeah.
checked your website. I saw this, I saw that. This is the way I could help and all that. I got crickets.
And that worked
Nobody
well?
answered. Didn't work at all. No one answered me. No one answered. So I just felt
No.
like let me change my approach. Okay, let me change my approach.
Okay.
Then I started talking to people that engaged my post. If I see that, oh, you engage my post, I engage your post. So I sent the code or one page to them. And this time I didn't make it long. I made it short and straightforward. And I got a nice response. The bad was,
Nice.
making it long, thinking
Yeah.
everyone would be like me. You want to be straight from the get go, but people don't like that. So when I made a post and I did some sort of BTS about my pitching strategy, the people I
Yeah.
pitched that ghosted me came into the
Yeah.
comments of the post and they were like, "No, don't do that. That's not the way to do it," and all that. And they just corrected me, and so that was so fun for me.
That
And
is
they were like, they
funny.
came back to the DM and they told me if I need maybe further help or something, they're open to it. Imagine I never did that BTS thing. I would
Yeah.
have assumed what so that just there. The bad is making it long, the good is making it short and super personal.
Okay, so getting to the point. So I'm curious when you're researching for your stories now, right? And the work that you do, and you said you really like bottom of funnel. So if we focus there on the very like content rich, like more advanced side of things, I find, at least for myself, being someone who builds and who's very technical, I can get lost in the research. I feel like there's so many directions and so many pieces of information and really specific examples.
Yeah,
So I would love to know. I'm sure there's a
yeah.
lot of people, whether they're making SOPs or they're writing content like you that would love to know how do you kind of sort through the noise and get the point across for this more detailed audience that's looking for that level without kind of just making a bunch of noise. Like, how do you make it short and succinct?
I get that. I get it. It's really hectic really because when you don't know you don't know what you're doing or what you maybe there's no direction really. It can really get
Yeah.
maybe frustrating, hectic. You just get lost in the research. But fortunately for me, I've been working with an agency, okay? So they do the drafting, they send me the brief, okay? So once they send me the brief, I take the brief and I generate the outline from the brief because there's
Mhm.
this two-way communication. Once I'm done with the outline, I send it to the team, to the editor,
Okay.
okay? So the editor tells me, okay, you're on point. This is good. This is not good enough. Make it better. Now, and most times too, when I see something on the brief that's not really okay, I tell them to. So for me,
Hmm.
I don't know, there are people that don't work with agencies, but for me, that has helped me. And I think it's something important for every writer at some point. Maybe you're a writer or whatever you might be doing. It's nice to have a third party look at your work. You feel like you're getting lost, you can get on the coffee chat with a friend, with a colleague or something. Just tell them what you're
Yeah.
doing. Have them look at it, because you're the one doing it yourself. You might be on the right path and you wouldn't know because you just tired and all that. But when you get this a second eye on things. So this other person can tell, wow, you're doing good. This is good. But if you're
Yeah.
not doing so good, the other person too can also tell you this needs some fine tuning here and all that. So I think that would work for anyone, whether you're solo, working with an agency, full-time content marketer, maybe you're the one team content team. If that's you, I think
Yeah.
when you get other people to see your work, and if you're the one that is shy, you don't want other people to see your work, you can go to communities, okay? Community like Superpart and all that. So because currently
Oh
I joined
yeah.
Superpart. Yeah, I joined Superpart and it's been great. I see people come there, ask questions. I was like, wow, okay, I'm gonna try this out too.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
you
think that
suggest those kind of like paid Slack groups and those, specific
yeah, yeah,
communities to
yeah,
get
yeah,
that
yeah,
feedback from your
yeah.
peers.
Because if you want to get solid,
Awesome.
because most times, from what I've seen, from what I've observed, okay, on Superpart, for example, so most of those people are senior marketers. They're like senior
Hmm.
marketers. Nobody's there to laugh at you or something. They've been where you are.
Yeah.
If you want to bridge the gap, you have to, just leverage their experience. And for $50 per month, I'm not trying to upsell Superparts here. Okay, I'm
No, I
just I'm
know.
just talking. Okay,
It's not an
so it's not
ad,
like
not
I'm trying
yet,
to
right?
promote them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to promote them, but I feel
Yeah.
like the kind of benefit you get for $50 per month. I think
Yeah.
it's a steal because $50 per month for that kind of experience. Because there are some questions you don't think of. Someone
Yeah.
else would ask them. You just gain from the whole thing. My question, your question, all in one place, and I'm getting the whole thing for $50 per month. I think paid groups are really good for that because it reduces the noise. You
Yeah.
get the reason because most people won't pay $50 to join some Slack group. Because you paying for that gives you extra access, premium access to some certain conversations around your career, around your job. Yeah, so I think that helps to join, go on coffee chat with a friend. Could be a
Yeah.
virtual chat like this too. If you can do that, then join Slack communities, paid Slack communities.
Awesome. How much time would you say that you spend networking with your peers, like in Superpath and other groups, compared to networking with people who are just like subject matter experts and things that you have to write about? One thing that writers don't get enough credit for is that you guys kind of have to be in a lot of places at once, and you have, you've got your audience, you've got all these different people who are like stakeholders in the conversations. I'd love to know, like, what a week in your life, like how you split that.
Well, what I do for me, I knew I can't work all day. Working all day does not mean I'm actually productive. Okay, so I just
True.
spend. So throughout the whole day, I only spend about 4 to 6 hours on real work. That includes research and writing. And thank God for AI now. Things like editing is easier. You just tell the AI the things you want it. Maybe I want to remove vagueness from these. I want more clarity. I want more
Mm-hmm.
accuracy. So that really helps. So I only spend 4 to 6 hours, and 6 hours will be the max for maybe when the deadline is near. And 4 hours, 24 hours, I have enough time to get on LinkedIn, meet
Yeah.
people, to people. And one way I find that really helps is to have a system for these things. I once saw it
Okay.
on Kiran Charlotte's post where she said something like she spent 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes, or she made it a duty to react or to respond to 5 posts per day. I feel like, wow, this is insightful. So imagine doing 5 posts per day for a month. The benefits will compound. When you
Mm-hmm.
react to a post, when you comment on a post, and the other people will see that. Before you know it, you start building relationships with people. And funnily enough, we always think that LinkedIn is just, you just come out there, just react with people. The SMEs for my articles, I got all of them from LinkedIn. Just some commenting on
I
people's
love
posts,
that.
subscribing to their newsletter. I feel like those conversations on LinkedIn and on LinkedIn rather, they're not just for growing your followers or something. They are there
Yeah.
to, you can use them to get jobs. You can use them to get SMEs for your articles. I remember one time I made a post that I'm looking for SMEs for my article, and someone just recommended other people to me. I entered their
I love
DM.
that.
From engaging with her post, she recommended people to me, all from LinkedIn. 5 posts per day is not too much. Something you can do over lunch break or coffee break or something. One of the reasons I came to this niche or I niched down is because of all these fun things. And I get
Yeah.
to be around with tools. So I'm actually having fun. I don't know for other people, this might be work for other people, but for me, it's fun. I don't think it's work. Because when I started posting every day, when I posted on LinkedIn for 3 months, people were like, this is work. But to me, I'm having fun. I'm doing it practical. Okay. I'm doing some
Yeah.
experiments. I just feel like if you gamify the process, it's going to be much more easier for you. I only use like maybe 5 tools regularly. The other ones are just experiments. So when I test you and you really make you're really good, and I add you to the view stack.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other ones are just
I love
experiments
that.
for
There's
me.
a vetting. It's a vetting
Yeah, yeah,
process.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Have you
yeah.
always enjoyed like experimentation? Like if I were to meet you like as a kid or a teenager, were you always like testing stuff? Were you into technology or science? Like what that seems like a natural curiosity.
Okay.
Tell us more about that. We're gonna get to know you personally.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I think I've always been curious. Growing up, I usually play with my toys. My mom would have gone to, because she's a nurse, so she would have gone to work and all that. So she leave me at
Yeah.
home. I don't go to neighbors or whatever to play. I stay at home. She gets me toys, so I just play with the toys. I have stories. There's the war stories that those the worst was that I play out. The worst was that I play out with my toys, and there's just food in the cooler for me. Okay, we call them cooler over here. I don't know what you call it over here. So we have coolers and all that. So
Okay.
so the food is in the cooler. Okay, so I play with my toys.
Yeah.
Once I'm out, I stand up, go eat, and I get back to my toys, and that was our childhood for me. Then
Hmm.
when I got to college, then I did something with my phone. We were taught at the time. We were taught it's called Q Basic. I really loved that, and I started reading about it. I learned that from Q Basic you can go to HTML. So I felt like let me do something beyond what we have been taught. So I went to W3 schools. There's this
Yeah.
build documents about how to build websites. And I built a website with some collection of web pages on my phone.
That's so
Was
fun.
using I was using some Nokia 201 or whatever then. So I have the
Yeah.
folders on my phone. I'll use text editor to write the codes. And I'll put the whole thing together. So I think I've always loved to test things. It's just fun.
I
It's
love
just
that.
fun. I think as I grow or whatever, I learned to document them. But then I was just learning.
Mm.
I wasn't documenting. But now
Yeah.
I'm at the stage where I'm not just testing anymore. I'm not just curious
Yeah.
about it. I'm documenting what I learned, what I feel could be better. So I think that's just the difference
Yeah.
from, the habits and now that I'm, bringing it to my professional career. So now I'm documenting it and like once you document something, you can add your name to it if the result is really unique and all that. So that would go far too.
I love that. And I feel like with you loving like experimentation, at least from my experience, it requires a level of persistence and you have to be willing to like try things
Yeah.
multiple ways and design them differently. And you feel like the part of you that, is experimenting and persistent and just willing to be creative, is that part of what allows you to be so flexible in your career? Because I feel like not everybody would randomly niche down and then come up with a really cool way to thrive so quickly. I feel like those two things relate somehow.
So I feel like that helped. That helped too. That helped. And aside from helping to so when I came to LinkedIn, I joined LinkedIn I think since 2022 or something. I can't really remember, but I joined years ago. So when I
Hmm.
compare my growth, so there's a part of me that like to be test stuff and all that, but at the same time there's this other part too, the
Mm.
appreciation part, the I want to be recognized in this career part. I want to increase my earning part, that part is there. So
Hmm.
I compared my growth with because I started in 2020. I started writing in 2020. And I saw other people on LinkedIn. These people started maybe 2022, 2023. They have bylines in big publications, nice
Yeah.
publications. Whereas I've been writing since 2020. I don't have any bylines to my name because most of those work are ghostwritten work. I'm not even
Right.
proud of those work, so to say. So I just felt like there must be something these people are doing that I'm not doing. I just feel like if you see something as how would I say I see it at the time? I felt it's a challenge, okay? Because if these people can
Yeah.
do it, I can do it as well. So what I did, I did some sort of I didn't let go of my jobs anyways because that won't be wise. I was doing my job, but at the same time, I set aside at least a few hours of the day to just see what is going on, what are other people doing, where are they getting these guidelines. At the start, it was really really confusing. I didn't know
Yeah.
nobody to mentor me and all that. So that was when I saw this course and I got the course and all that. So I feel like the motivation to test thing is there. But at the same time too, there's this extra motivation, some about Maslow something. I've forgotten that pyramid of needs or something, basic needs, whatever.
The
So
hierarchy of needs, the pyramid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you get it. So I got
Yeah.
to that stage, and it's not at that stage. It's not only just about my what I like to do. I want to be
Hmm.
paid for what I do.
Hmm.
I want to be paid better for what I do. I want to be
As you should.
recognized for what I do. I want bylines, things written in my name. Because when you tell people that you are a content writer, they ask you for, okay, let me see what you've written. And you start
Hmm.
sending. Your name is not here. Don't send me Google Doc. Send me live websites, with live articles with your name. So I moved from that stage of I wanted to get paid for this. I moved to the stage of I want to be recognized for this. Then with
Yeah.
that recognition comes better pay, comes subject matter expertise. Then those are the things, those are the other drivers for me. It's not just because I like to test
Yeah.
things now, it's because I want to be recognized here. And I know that with this recognition, there'll be better pay, there will be more opportunities, even beyond writing. For example, if
Yeah.
I never got on LinkedIn, I won't be on this podcast with you.
That's true. That's how I know
Yeah,
you. We were in the
yeah,
DMs
yeah.
and I was like, you should come on my podcast actually. I want to kind of dive into a little bit because I work in a similar field where a lot of the systems that I build for clients are like based on their internal process and it's all they can't put that out in the world. And so for years I've been building really cool stuff that I kind of can't talk about and I can't really show
Yes.
anyone. And just this year I got my first site credit. They put my name on it, like she built this thing, I can
That's it.
reference people to it. And it
Yeah.
opened my eyes, right? Because I was like, wow, like I've done all this work and this is the first time I can say, hey, I built that. Go look at it independently. You don't have to look at something I'm sending you. So I'm very curious to know and kind of watch your ascension and learn how you're going to start getting all these bylines and how you're going to come about those.
So the first things first, I want to say big congrats to you on that. Getting
Thank
recognized is really,
you.
really good. So that's good. So that's good.
Yeah.
So for me, while I want to get recognized at the same time, I need to, earn some money at the side. It is very, very important. If you focus only on recognition,
Hmm.
there has to be some sort of income coming for you. So what I did was that I found a way to get balance, to create a
Hmm.
balance between the two. Because there's this work I'm doing just to, just to feed myself. There's the work to feed myself, and there's the one
Yeah.
I'm doing for recognition. All right. So, but so far, for now, the work for recognition has been, guest postings, free work. I'm not getting paid for it, but it's a long-term thing. It's not something I'm doing for now. And so far,
Hmm.
been able to get I've been able to get three bylines. The other one will be coming this week. I wrote for mobile
Yay.
text. So
We'll
mobile
link
text
it
alert.
for the.
Yeah, yeah. I got the mobile text alert from LinkedIn. So I
Yeah.
made a post. I'm looking forward to guest post, and the man came to my DM after another post. He said
Hmm.
he liked the way my strategy to content, and he started asking me questions. At some point, I felt like it's been intrusive, but I continued. And we just kept talking. So he now asked me like, "What am I doing now?" I told him that, oh, at the time I was still looking for a job. At the time, he told me, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't help you with a job at the moment, but there's something else I can offer you. I have this website,
Yeah.
like high authority website, and I would accept guest posts from you if you have anything for me." Wow, wow, wow. So we got talking, and my first guest post on his website will be live. I think this week should be live this week, and yeah. So while we're working on recognition, while we're doing recognition, we want to be recognized. You should also understand that it might take some time. Okay, difficult. So my target is just to write one per month. I've been doing that since November now. There's this other side you have to think about your family. You have to think about
Yeah.
your plans, and there's this recognition part because when you want to apply to jobs, you don't need to send. 1,000 articles. You could do maybe the three articles across TOEFL, MOFL, BOFL. So you could send just
Hmm.
three articles.
I would love to know as you kind of pivoted careers, right? When you were like, I'm sorry, I'm leaving the job. It's not for me. I'm not moving to the middle of nowhere. How was that journey for you? What kind of challenges did you experience?
So for generic SEO
Hmm.
writing, we have this huge word count to deliver in within a short time frame. You'll be asked to submit
Yeah.
2,000 word article in 24 hours. This is not sustainable,
Yeah.
especially since I plan to settle down very, very soon. So I said to
Yeah.
myself that this is not sustainable because I want to be the best dad to my kid that I never had. I thought to myself, this generic writing won't help me achieve that because where would I have the time to go on dates, to go on vacations with my kids? Because I would always be
Yeah.
working. So that's one of the motivations to niche down as well because when you have this expertise in the field, you do less work. Now you
Hmm.
let your expertise do the work. It's not like you're doing less work, but like so to say, but your work is just more. It's different. There is
Hmm.
authority to it, so you spend less time doing all those drudgery, whatever things. So that's one of the things
Yeah.
I noticed too. So so for anyone out there who is trying to niche down, and you're thinking about maybe families and all that. I think that should be one of your priorities. But when you're niching down to anything, when you're taking on any client, you should also think about your family too, because you want to create a balance. I don't think work should be all there is to life. There are
Yeah.
other things. There's family. You want to have fun. You want to rest. You want to see new places. So imagine you're working 24/7. How would you
Mm.
achieve these other goals? Because of course you might say the work will pay you well, but there will be this gap, and the work can't fill the
Yeah.
gap because imagine the work you will send. Someone would send the revision request to you. You hear this, so you need to find some other thing outside work that gives you
Yeah.
happiness. So the external happiness, in a way, would also trickle down to your work happiness. So you can't just have all your happiness, even if the work is your passion. You can't have all your
Yeah.
happiness coming from work. It has to come from somewhere else too. And you can only make it come from somewhere else if you make time for the other things that matters to you. So it could be family that matters to you. It could be the service to God that matters to you. Whatever thing that matters to you, you need to create time for it. And your choice, your career choice, your niche choice should afford you the time to do that. So I think the decision was actually easy for me. SEO
Yeah.
generic writing wasn't giving me such time. It's taking up all my time. There's no recognition. The pay does not, amount to the effort that I put in. So why not
Right.
niche down? It was just an easy decision for me. So what I'm doing
I
right
love
now,
that.
I only write about maybe just 4 articles in a month. I only write 4 articles
Hmm.
in a month, and I'm getting paid. The pay is better compared to SEO. Right? And funnily enough, I'm not even at the peak of my because it's a new niche for
Yeah.
me. I'm still learning niche, so I'm not at the peak of my skill in this niche, and I'm getting paid.
Hmm.
The, now imagine when I get to the peak, when I'm like well known for this.
Right.
Imagine how much more I'll be paid. Maybe at that point, I only need to write 2 articles per month, and I'm good. And I have time
I
for
love that.
every other thing that I'm doing.
That's awesome. So it sounds like the ability to balance your work with your life is one of the main things that drives you.
It's a
That's
major
beautiful.
drive.
You can hustle and you can grind for a while because you have to get experience and you have to at least kind of know what you're doing in the professional world. But
Exactly.
when you get really good at something particular, like in your case, right, with how you niche down, I feel like that's when you can really, if you really lean into that, your expertise, it's almost like you're more efficient. You're not doing less, you're just able to have a better value output for the time, I feel like. And I think it's people don't realize, like, just, get a certification in something or, pursue a particular part of a field, right? There's marketing, but then there's like social media, organic marketing, right? Like, kind of find your area that you fit. And I'm curious, you seem to really like what you're doing now. Do you see this
Yeah.
being something, you just lean into and you keep going on this? Do you see it being something that you master and then you elevate it somehow in another way? What does that look like for you over the next few years?
So currently, I write around productivity niches. Now,
Mm-hmm.
though I niche down from generic writing to SaaS writing, at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I keep the options open because I don't want to
Yeah.
get bored. I don't want to get bored writing for a particular niche, like maybe some sort of sub niche now. So I made it, I
Yeah.
cast a wide net. Okay, it's still a wide net because I'm writing for two niches. Okay, productivity and marketing. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
play around the niche and see which one actually, gets me going. Then I can make
Yeah.
that my major niche. I'm going to have a
Love
major.
that.
My plan is to have one major niche and maybe about maybe
Hmm.
two other things that interest me. And the plan is because I read Exit 5 reports lately. Project managers I said that project managers are paid more than marketers. I don't know what to do. I've been thinking about it because when I got on LinkedIn and some people came to my DM and they were like, "I love the approach you take to your content. Have you considered doing community manager? Is this something you'd
Mm,
like to?" I never thought about that, but I feel like, wow,
yeah.
maybe this is something I could combine with writing later on. It's fluid, really, and to keep yourself in the game, you need to learn as much as possible. If you start at
Yeah.
content marketing, why not dive into product marketing? If there is the opportunity to do it, why not learn it? Because you
Yeah.
don't know at some point you might want to build your own SaaS. You might want to build your own SaaS too. You need this you don't have to be the expert, so to say, but all this little
Yeah.
experience will come into play later. This little skills make you a better
Yeah.
person. Like just makes you a well-rounded person. Those things will come good for your kids, for your family, for your friends. So yes, I'm doing writing for now, but you never know. I might dive into community management very, very soon, or
I
go
love
into
it.
product, or go into product management. Now, I never saw myself
That's
as
so
a creator.
cool.
I never saw myself as a
Yeah.
creator. Okay, I was just doing my own copy on LinkedIn and all that. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things I'm saying. It does not necessarily have to be you're doing just blog writing. You can have
Yeah.
some other gig that would, make you learn about product marketing. And you say, wow, I love this. And you can combine the whole thing as much as you have the time for them. Learn
Hmm.
about the new things, do other things. It's just fun. It's just fun. Just do other things. Do other
I
things.
love
I don't
that.
know. Travel, do other things. Just
Yeah,
make
stay
your work
fun,
interesting.
stay
Yeah.
fluid. So I want to dig into that.
Yeah.
So I can tell that you seem, like you said, you're fluid, you're open, you pivot a lot, right? When you need to. And you're doing it in a way that's not erratic, right? Like it makes sense with whatever you have going on at the time. So what would you
Yeah.
say is like the best way to stay fluid? Is it being open minded? Is it being unafraid of failure? Is it, being curious? What are the things that actually allow somebody? Because it's easy to say be fluid, but then people, they're going to listen to this and they're like, how do I do
Yeah.
that though? Because I'm scared or I'm nervous. Like, what would you say is the way to be that
We have to be curious, okay? We have to think like, yeah, I know we are adults. At the same time, we have to think like kids. Kids want
way?
to be
Yes.
involved in everything. They see you dancing, they want to dance. See you
Yeah.
maybe doing dishes, they want to do it too. So we have to stay curious. We need to stay curious, really. So that's number one too. But then being curious does not mean you get the results for most things. You can be curious and still get a big fat no.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean being curious does not get you the job.
Hmm.
It doesn't pay your bills. It doesn't,
Yeah.
get you the recognition that you need. But being curious can, just help you start. So now when you're curious, now the next level after curiosity is to have this strong mindset that people would
Hmm.
say no to you. People will turn you down. Even getting no is better than crickets.
Yeah.
At least this person read your message. Some people would read your message. They'll let you know they
Hmm.
read your message because it depends. I don't know. Depending on where you sent it, you'll see this read sign or something.
Yeah.
What
I know what you're talking
they,
about. It's like their
they
face or
won't
it's like red at.
and crazily there are some people again that to let you know they saw your message, they will go to maybe make a post after reading that some people will come to my DM and say things like this. I think getting no is better than all that really. So you have to
Yeah.
prepare your mind to get no's, and no's does not mean you won't have yes later on. So the first thing is being curious, really. The second one is to have this mindset that no is not the end of life. But then those two things won't really help you do anything. You need the next level, and the next level is to find follow people with similar story as yourself
Mm-hmm.
who have been in your position, and now
Hmm.
they are doing what you want to do. Because you can say you're curious, your curiosity won't really get you above the line. Your mentality you can have this strong mentality and still don't know what to do. So I feel like the next level, and which should be the final level, is to find somebody who has done it, maybe who
Hmm.
was in your position some years back or something. They have done it and they are still doing it. So those people can be the because you're here and you're looking at them over there. You see that, "Oh, this is possible. So this is possible."
Yeah.
So when I wanted to niche down, I looked at a few Nigerians because there's always been that gap for writers over here and
Hmm.
writers across other countries. There's always like, oh, when I see other articles, I don't see enough Nigerian names there. At the same
Yeah.
time, there are some Nigerians doing it,
Yeah.
writing for Zapier. So I just felt to myself, well, I'm getting the nose now.
Yeah.
If these guys do it, I can do it as well. So I see them as models. So see someone like Tami, for example.
Yeah.
Tami has been working with Buffer for I think over 4 years or so now. So that's a
Mm.
Nigerian working at Buffer for God's sake. So
Yeah.
if she
It's
and
huge.
she's there's another thing to you look at. You can say that oh she's Nigerian but she's based in in the United States. Tami stays in Lagos State, not far from where I'm
Right.
staying. It's about maybe 4 hours or 15 minutes through flight. So it's possible.
Yeah.
So having the curiosity is good. It sets the foundation because it feels like, oh, you want more, that test for more. You need to have the test. You can't,
Hmm.
knowing, even if Tammy is your friend, that doesn't mean you will be like Tammy. If you don't have the test, if you don't have the test for
Yeah.
that, in fact, you can be Tammy's friend and never even know what she does because you're not curious enough to know. You never, ask someone, what do you do? Tammy, what do you do?
Right.
Oh, content writer, okay, good. You never even ask the next question. Oh, what is that about? What is your job about? So you have to be curious. The first thing is to be curious. Then now you should
Yeah.
also know that your curiosity won't lead to what you're looking for. So you need to develop this mentality, this strong mindset that, oh, you can do this. I can do this. Those won't be the end of me. Getting no's all the time is not the end of the world or something. Then the last level is to find people, possibly people from your country, people from the same
Mm.
ethnic group, because Tami is Yoruba, I'm Yoruba too. And so it makes sense to me. Tami stays in
Yeah.
Lagos in the southwest of Nigeria. I stay in Lagos, southwest of Nigeria. If she's doing it, so Tami aside too, I have other people too that I looked up to. I look up to them like that.
Yeah.
I go to their websites, I check their portfolio. Wow, so
I
this
love
guy is
that.
doing this. Wow, this is good. This is good. Yeah, I can do it. I feel like we should also be careful too, because despite having those models, at some point you start thinking that maybe you're not good enough. Even though those guys are doing it, they were also at your point at some point
Hmm.
where they were getting a lot of no's. So it's not a quick process. It's not yes, yes, yes. To even them, even those guys are still getting no's. So
Yeah.
it's just a phase really. Because I saw a post that a lady, also someone from Nigeria, someone from Southwest. In fact, we went to the same college. So I have a lot of them around to motivate me. So
I love that.
so I saw a post and she was like, she applied to some jobs. The initial
Hmm.
interview went well. They really loved the sample. They loved the ideas
Hmm.
she gave. But when she mentioned that she stays in Nigeria, or they just told her, "Oh,
Hmm.
we're sorry, we can't work with you." But she made a post. Now imagine you
Yeah.
were looking up this person that, oh, you feel like they get yes all the time, whereas that's not
Yeah.
reality. So we should also should also have this gaps. Okay? You should know that why these people are models, why they are where they are right now. It
Yeah.
takes it takes time. It takes time. Okay, you be curious, have the mentality, have models you look at, then be patient too. Tardiness. You don't want your patience to turn to tardiness. So you need to
Yeah.
have milestones, time bound goals. Set smart goals, realistic goals. Okay, like for
Yeah.
example, yeah, you see, I'm talking project management with you now.
You're talking the language. I like it. I used to be a
Yeah,
project
yeah,
manager,
yeah,
so this is like right up my alley. And I'm curious too. I really like what you said about finding models that you relate to that maybe experience similar things. You're definitely not the first person who's told me that they've applied for a role and they were a good fit. And then, someone going through that
yeah,
experience, like, oh, well, you're located here. That's crazy. We can't work with you. And as a US
yeah,
based business owner, I see that sometimes where it's like, oh, US, UK, Australia only. Like it's really specific. And I'm sure there's
yeah.
like geopolitics and everything that plays into it, right? But do you have any advice? I don't know if you've hit that situation or if it's just from your mentors and role models. Do you have any advice for people who maybe like live somewhere where they get that kind of pushback or have that kind of obstacle in like how to look for jobs that aren't going to say no for that or how to deal with that when it happens? Because I imagine that's something a lot of people are facing.
That can be really be frustrating. Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
start from there. So imagine sending out 20 applications and like 18 of those told you we can work with people from your country. That kind of just shatters your mentality, the whole mentality.
Yeah.
That can shatter your mentality. But one thing I found work for me is when I have a company, maybe I have an agency that I really like. I
Hmm.
study the agency. I see what they're doing. Or do I love their work
Hmm.
culture? Are they doing fun things that I would like to be a part of? So I go to
Hmm.
LinkedIn. I type the agency on LinkedIn. I find the
Yeah.
agency, the company. So I type the agency on LinkedIn and I go to people. I go to
Hmm.
people. I go and look for people that are working over there. Do I have
Smart.
anybody in my country working over there?
Yeah.
Do I have people in my connections working over there? Do I have people
Sure.
that are maybe we have mutual connections working over there? So when I check all those things and there is no mutual whatever there, I
Hmm.
most times I just let it go because I am not
Mm,
ready to waste my time. So
yeah.
the major thing for me is to see Nigerians work. I'm just using my case now. So it's really,
Yeah.
really important for me to see Nigerians working in an agency that I want to, even if it's just one, I need to see a
Yeah.
Nigerian who stays in Nigeria. It's not somebody in Nigeria that moved abroad. Someone who
Right.
stays in Nigeria that is working or has worked with them. So if I can see this person, I can say, oh, okay, there's a chance. So the next
Yeah.
level for me is to message the Nigerian. I would message the Nigerian. Oh,
That's
hi,
smart.
I saw you work over here. You still work with them. I'd love to
Hmm.
ask some questions. And I was lucky in my own case when I was doing the research. I was lucky that about three people work with the agency. Three people that I know personally work with the agency. These
Oh
three
wow.
people, like two of them are people I've seen, eye to eye. We're like pals. We stay in the same city. Then the other one, we she engaged my post on LinkedIn. So it was easy for
Hmm.
me to go to their DM and I just shot my message and they told me, oh, this is a good agency. They work with Nigerians. Yeah, this is the person you need to pitch. That kind of limits the all these gaps and all that. So they told me this is the person to pitch. Okay, well they are
Yeah.
not hiring at the moment, but can try your luck. That helps you that just taking random guesses and all that. So I feel like the extra push to do that. I know it's extra work. Okay, it's the difference
Yeah.
between you just apply and that's just wait for feedback. This is extra work, but it pays
Hmm.
because you can see that they work with people from your country. You
Yeah.
work with people from your country and you interview those people and those people give you good feedback. But it's a
Hmm.
different thing that they work with people from your country, but they hold them. They don't pay them. So you
Mm,
need to get reviews too from those people. That saves you the time, the stress of applying,
yeah.
waiting for answers, and maybe at the end of 2 months, 3 months, they tell you we don't work with your country. So interview people that work there. Try to filter the search. Do you have people in your country working there? So if you don't have anyone in your country working there, then check. Do you have any mutual connection working there? No mutual connection. Do you have maybe like people that have the same whatever, maybe 3 lines of connection or something working there? If you can't find anybody that you know, like real people that have real profiles that are active on LinkedIn or active anywhere else working there, I don't think you should waste your time. Just save yourself the trouble. Find some other things to do. Find some other agencies or some other companies to work to apply to. For
that's
that, yeah, it can be really frustrating. Imagine applying to 20 jobs, all the replies are the same thing. It feels like you don't know what you're doing. It feels like you're not good enough. So to remove that self doubt is, I know it's extra work, but it's necessary. Yeah, it's
yeah.
necessary to overcome all that.
Well, I want to give a quick shout out to Buffer. If there's any of the agency, anybody you want to shout out, because I think it's
Yeah.
crazy when people are like, "Oh, I don't work with people from specific places." Like, unless you're legally barred, what are you guys doing? So if there's anybody you want to give a shout out to, please feel free, or I'll put it in the show notes. But more companies need to work with people from all over. I don't get this weird preference to geography.
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Satabdi. She's my content manager.
Okay.
Recently, despite the what's it called, the LinkedIn bar thing or something, she came to my DM on Slack and she was like, "Wow, I've not been seeing your post on LinkedIn. Where have you been? What happened?" I feel like
Hmm.
I don't know. I've not really worked with a lot of content managers, so to say. So I don't know if they all do that, but that felt good that she sees me.
Yeah.
Like, I've not been seeing you here. Where have you been? What happened to you? Are you okay? So shout out to her, yeah. So for now,
Yes, I'll
that's the
get
only shout
your
out. Yeah,
I like it. Give it all to them. I'll get whatever links to their page so we can shout them out in the
yeah,
show.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you for
sure.
letting me pause for that. I feel like it's important to big up the people who are doing good things.
Yeah,
All that considered, I feel like a lot of our conversation has circled around a few themes. I would
yeah,
say being fluid, being patient, but also being creative and then
yeah,
following all that with really hard work. And so, if we had to pull a lesson from today, it's really hard to pick one, to be honest with you. I feel like there's a lot of really great ones here.
yeah,
But I guess I would honestly say it's almost like be really open and when you get a shot, take it. And maybe if there's bumps along the road, but you know that the road is leading somewhere that you want to go, it's worth it. There's so many ways I could word it, but I feel like you just embody so many characteristics that people should aspire to. I feel like you're very creative, you're very, open, you're not letting things knock you down, you're really just out here doing it. You're doing the work, and I love that for you. And I want to see more people feel empowered to do that. So, yeah, I would just say, like, I love the idea of being fluid, and following that
Thank you.
fluidity was really, really hard work. I think that's the best thing to say. What would be one actionable step to like open their mind up, or to get more creative, or to work even harder?
Boil it down to one advice. Just for them to
Yeah.
start. I know you've been scheming, making plans, you've been drawing those boards on Miro, you've been doing all this kind of things, coding, you have a book, filled with
Hmm.
ideas, spreadsheet of ideas, all these tools and all that. You have everything set up. Well, that's good. Just start. Don't delay. Just start. It does not have to be perfect, okay? Maybe you want to even
Yeah.
create a post on LinkedIn. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't schedule the first post. Put it out now. Just push it out. Because getting it out there in the first instant, just it frees up your mind. It frees things up with that. And once you take the first step, you can take the other step. It's just easy. I worked in an elementary school. So in the
Hmm.
elementary school, after closing, you get to stay with kids. The teachers stay with kids. So when you
Yeah.
watch the kids in crèche, for example, and they're trying
Hmm.
to take a step, they don't go all the way. They take
Yeah.
the first one. They take the second one. They feel like, okay, can I go next? Can I do this next? So that's the way they
Hmm.
take the step. I feel like we can learn a lesson or two from those from the kids. They don't go
I
all the way
love
at
that.
once. They take a step one at a time. So we should also do like that. Don't wait until it's perfect. The kids don't wait until they can walk like an adult. They are
Yeah.
what's the English for that? The stamina is not there yet. They're taking the
Yeah.
step. So I think we can also be like that. If you're someone who's watching this show and you've been planning, been doing all that,
Hmm.
yeah, just take the first step. Just take. Yeah, it might not be perfect, but just take it. The next one, the second one will be good. The second one is not good. The third one will be good. Just keep taking the
Yeah.
step until you have something nice.
I love that. It's like step and pivot. That's what you have to do.
Thank you.
Of course, speaking of kids, we've talked about your childhood a little bit. I would love to know
Yeah.
something that you and your mom have as like a value that you take into work. For example, with my kids and my husband, we always say honesty, right? So what would you say, like, with something that either your mom's taught you or you guys have now that you carry into your work and your career?
Me, the one thing that I remember and I can hold on to is that she encouraged questions.
Mm.
My mom loved when you ask her questions. Even if they are stupid questions, she encourages it and she your questions comes with a gift after the answer. So I think I grew up learning that too. Whenever something seems unclear to you, don't
Yeah.
assume don't assume it should be done this way. Well, I'm not now. It's two ways too because when you tell people
Mm.
to always ask questions, you tend to feel like, oh, don't I have the autonomy to do things? That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
What I'm saying is different. So if something is confusing to you, you need guidance. That doesn't mean you don't
Hmm.
have your own ideas. You just want other people's insight on how things should be done. Because one, two head is better than one. Okay, so you might have the best idea. It's always good to
Hmm.
run your idea by someone. And that's why it's good to have it doesn't have to be like a big team. It could be a team of two or three people. People in your
Yeah.
corner. When you have a good idea, you can run it by them. Oh, this is what I'm trying to do. So I do that with my
Yeah.
girlfriend, so we brainstorm together. But
Yeah.
but this is something I learned. This is something I learned from my mom. So when she gets home from
Hmm.
my office, she sits me down and she tells me she run me through the ideas. Well, this is what I want to do next. What do you think? I'm a kid. Yes, she's asking me for my
Yeah.
what
I
do I
love
know?
it.
She asked me for my insight, and that's really, really fun. She wants to know what I think. She asks me
Hmm.
questions. She encouraged me to ask her questions. So I feel like that's something I really love and something I've been doing all this while. I ask people questions, and I want them to also ask me questions because the question gives room to learn from
Yeah.
them, for me to also share what I know. So those sharing of the ideas make both of us, all the parties involved, a better person. We know more things than we before we started the conversation. So the question thing really, really helped me asking people questions. Now in my work
Love
with
that.
triple that. my working with Surabi and Satabdi, I ask questions a lot. So nobody will reprimand you for asking question, but they
Mm-hmm.
might, if you didn't ask a question and you caused some sort of loss for the company, might be something that, put you out of job tomorrow. So ask a question today.
Shout out to your mom.
Yeah.
That's a really good value. Um,
Yeah, thank you.
of course. Well, thank you so much for your time, your openness. I'm so glad we finally got to chat in video and not just in our DMs and emails. But I would love to give you the floor. I'll link anything you talk about in the show notes for the listeners. But let us know, the things you're working on that you want people to check out, where they should reach out to you, best ways to find you.
Yeah. So currently I'm working with Triple that, but most of my work has been go straight into work. Like I said when we started the program, there's some jobs you
Mm.
do to pay the bills, and there's some other jobs you do for recognition. So for the recognition parts, right now I'm writing for mobile text alerts. We write mobile text alert is me SMS too. So
Mhm.
they help people automate SMS for maybe for e-commerce, for other businesses too. So I've written one Bofo article for them and it's coming out sometimes this week. It will be out. I feel like by the time you're watching this, the article will be live
Yeah, it'll
already.
be June by the time they hear this, so you're good.
Yeah, yeah. So aside from that too, yeah, normally you should be able to find me on LinkedIn, but currently, hopefully before June 2, my account will be restored. But for now, you can follow me on Twitter. I've been planning to get to other platforms when I started LinkedIn. I think this is the perfect chance for me to get on those platforms and just
Hmm.
spread my wings out there. So I'm looking at Twitter and Substack. On Substack, I plan to do newsletter on Substack because I feel like I need to get on so many things and just to spread
Yeah,
my, like I said, I want to try my hands up writing newsletters too. So I'm
love
thinking
it.
Substack. Yeah, yeah. So that's
Awesome.
that's it for me. Yeah. So the service
Okay.
I'm trying to um to promote now. So far,
Hmm.
I don't have a specific service other than my B2B SaaS writing. So if you're looking for the writer to write SME-led content, B2B SaaS content around project management, productivity, marketing, e-com, yeah, I'm your guy.
You heard it here first. He's your guy. Hire him, follow him, reach out to him. Thank you again for being here today. This was such a great conversation. And thank you all. We'll see you next week.